And we are live. Welcome everybody to the ChurchTrac Power Users live stream. My name is Matt.
And I'm Chris.
And you're Chris. And we're both really excited to walk you through and just show you some of the lesser known but still very powerful features tucked away into some different nooks and crannies in your ChurchTrac account. We're going to have a good time.
Yes.
We got a lot planned for you, so we're going to be moving through several features and showing you a lot of different things in your account, just because we want to make sure that you are taking full advantage of everything that is packed into your account. There's more to ChurchTrac than just those main features and screens. There's a lot of tools all over the account that we want to make sure that you are able to use to benefit and bless your church. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through several of those lesser known features in just a moment. But before we get into that, there's a few resources we want to share with you that I know is going to benefit you and bless you as you're using your ChurchTrac account. The first is we have a YouTube channel. You're probably watching this video right now on YouTube. Go ahead and make sure you click the subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on all of the live streams we do, as well as watch past live streams and see all of the how-to instructional videos that we've uploaded to that platform. And why don't you tell them about the Facebook group?
Yeah, definitely. If you want to know where all the other power users are, it's in our Facebook users group. It's just as it sounds. It's a collection of ChurchTrac users, church leaders, church volunteers, just like you, who collaborate, sometimes listen, and just really help each other be the body of Christ.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
If you're a user, if you're on a trial, hopefully here you're not on your trial anymore, you're a power user. We're going to get into some maybe a little bit more complex parts of ChurchTrac, but if you are on a trial, you can join it too. It's a great resource to meet others just like you.
Yes, and anytime you're in your ChurchTrac account, in the top right-hand corner of the screen, I'll zoom in just to make sure everybody can see this. In the top right-hand corner, there's this orange help button. If you click on that button, it opens up a window where you can either access our user guide by clicking the Show All Help Topics button, or reach out to the support team by clicking the Ask Us a Question button. Our support team is amazing. This guy right here, Chris, he's over the support team. They are super fast in responding. They want to help your church and bless your church and serve you in everything that you're doing today. So what we're going to just make sure that you reach out to us anytime you have questions about any of the features that we're talking about or anything else in your software. We want to make sure that you're good to go. All right, now that we've got all of that out of the way, like I was saying earlier, we've got a lot planned. I'm going to be covering a lot of ground, jumping through different screens and different parts of the ChurchTrac account just to show off different features that I know that if you leverage, it'll take your experience with ChurchTrac to the next level and also streamline and just simplify a lot of the work that you're doing. When you and I were talking and preparing for this, you kept calling these things force multipliers.
Exactly.
Love that term. That's exactly what these features are. This is meant to not just give you new things to do and manage, but actually multiply the work that you're doing and help you be more effective in the ministry work that you're trying to do for the body of Christ. So what we're going to cover in this live stream is we're going to show off several features that you may not know about, or some that you do and you just want to learn more about how to take full advantage of it. We'll also give examples that we've seen of other churches and how they're taking advantage of some of these features. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A just to make sure that all of your questions are answered. Chris and another guy, Wes, will be manning the chat, keeping an eye on things. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to drop in during the live stream. If you're watching this later, you're not watching it live, you can't join the live stream, but you can still leave a comment, and I'll make sure that you get the answer you're looking for.
Or again, just send that support ticket our way, and I'll help you.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Love it. But if you have a question and we don't get to it live, we'll just get to it at the end during the Q&A. So buckle in. We're about to dive in and have a really good time, all right? So to start all this out, we're already in the home and dashboard screen of the ChurchTrac account. That's what you access when you first log into the account. So to start, we're going to start with the Messages tab, because there's something tucked away in here that I know not everyone knows about. At the very bottom of the list of all of your individual text messages, there's an option called Set Up Auto Replies, and I'll zoom in just to make sure everybody can see that. It's in this toolbar at the very bottom of the screen. If you click on that, it opens up this menu where you can set up auto replies. These are responses that are automated. so long as somebody texts your church a specific keyword that you customize. So in this case, you could have, let's say, well, I mean, there's actually a lot of different uses for this. I've seen a lot of churches use this for boosting volunteer signups. So if there's like a big thing coming up, they'll promote it and they'll say, hey, text the church's number, this keyword, and we'll send you a text with a link to sign up to volunteer. In this case, in this church's account, there's even one already for VBS. I know my church, they're already like starting to talk about VBS. There's not any volunteers signing up happening yet, but there's already some communication going out. So we're prepping for this. So in this case, you could have like VBS be the keyword. That's what this term here is. So you set the keyword and let it be something like the name of the event. And then you can customize the message to say, hey, you can register yourself as a volunteer, blah, blah, blah. Here's the link to sign up. So you can leverage this. So that way you can gather more volunteer signups and it doesn't have to be something that someone does for each and every single volunteer.
Right.
Some of this can be automated.
And I think an important point of this one is that in that auto reply, we're using a form card in Church Connect.
Yes.
So you're leveraging one part of the software to be used here as well. So these are just things that little tweaks you can put in that'll then do so much more. That's why it's a force multiplier. It's using multiple screens in ChurchTrac to accomplish what you need to accomplish.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention about this before we go too far into the auto replies is back in where you click the button, the set up auto replies button.
Yeah.
Some of our churches, they may be using texting quite a bit already. They may have a lot of messages there. So if you don't see that button, just scroll down. It's down there. Sometimes if there's a lot of messages right there, you have to scroll a little bit to get to that button. But it is there, I promise.
Yeah. Also, just FYI, chances are if you're watching this, you're already a power user or you're on your way to becoming a power user with ChurchTrac. So you probably are already on our most up-to-date plans with ChurchTrac. Your subscription is already fully up to date. But if you don't see the option to set up auto replies, reach out to the support team. It could be that you just need to upgrade your account to the most recent plan to have access to the enhanced messaging features. Just wanted to make that clear. So you can use auto replies for all kinds of things. I know we just gave the example of volunteer signups, but what's another thing that you've seen churches use?
Another one that churches use it, obviously, giving. You know, you can use the word give. I believe give might already be built in. If you text the word give to that number, it sends them to the online giving portal, walks them through. If they're not already registered, it can help them with that part too. They thought ahead on that one. They know what we want to automate and what we want to have the personal touch on. Other ones, I like the base one you have there that just says serve. Just have that one all the time, because a lot of times in my church we'll get, well, I didn't know, I could serve. Maybe I didn't know what direction to go. It's so easy just to put a slide up on your beginning of church slides that say, interested in serving at church? Text serve to number. Simple.
Super simple.
Let them come to you and say, yeah, I want to serve. I mean, obviously we have to be discipling and asking them to serve and all that, but at least have a nice, easy way where when they get to that point, that's all they have to do.
Perfect. And here's another pro tip. If you want to just take this and be even more thoughtful with how you utilize auto replies. If instead of just having that generic give option with a link to the donation portal, another trick that you can employ is if you have like a love offering or just something very particular comes up that donors can give to, whether it be an emergency or a missionary that comes and visits, you can go to the giving and pledges screen. And so long as you already have online giving set up, you can create a specific URL and QR code for a particular category. So at the bottom of this screen, right above that row of buttons, there's an option to generate a QR code and link for giving to specific categories. And here I can say, all right, missionary came. I want to create I can create a category for that, and then I can select that here. And I'll have a URL that's unique to that specific category. So you can grab this and drop that into an auto reply and then gather donations online for that particular initiative, not just donations to the donation portal in general. So this allows you to be very targeted with your donations, even in a quote unquote generic auto reply with your church.
Definitely. And again, just another force multiplier of using 2 screens together.
2 screens together, because everything's interlinked in ChurchTrac. All these features are communicating with each other to streamline that work that you're doing. So one thing you do in one part of the account can affect something you do in another. And that way you don't have to duplicate the work that you're doing. So that's auto replies. If you have enhanced messaging, definitely take advantage of auto replies. And if you don't have the enhanced messaging, reach out to the support team and we'll help you upgrade so that you can take full advantage of everything that ChurchTrac has to offer. Now, speaking of auto replies and communication, another tool that most of you probably already do know about, but I just want to clarify or at least give you some idea of some other uses for it and a way to take full advantage of it, is the Add My Family feature. If you go to People and Families, this is your core database where all of your member information lives. But at the very top of the list of names, there's this Actions button. And near the very bottom of this drop-down menu is an option called Add My Family QR/setup. Again, I know I'm probably preaching to the choir. Most of you, if you're a power user, you probably have already used this. But a lot of churches I talk to only think of this in terms of gathering guest or newcomer information, which is that's great. It's great for that. Don't think that that's not what it's for. But you can use this QR code for anyone at your church, even well-established members. They can scan that QR code and submit their personal information, and any new information they submit that isn't already in the database will just be added or it'll replace the old information. So this is a great way to make sure that your database is up to date with the most up-to-date contact information, which is really critical if you want to communicate with your entire church.
And I've seen churches who do this successfully. They'll have a directory campaign, a directory update campaign where they'll announce to the church, hey, everyone, we want to make sure we've got the most up-to-date contact information for everyone. Here's the QR code, scan this, fill it out. The twofold benefit of that is you get updated information for your church members. And then if anyone's there that day that hasn't submitted their information, well, now you've got that too. So you get both updates.
Easy. And it just simplifies that. What'll happen is they'll fill out a form, you'll get a notification that somebody submitted something, and you just review what was submitted, and in a few clicks of the mouse, it's added to the database for you. It's very, very simple. Now, once you have everybody's contact information, you can then jump to the messaging page and send multiple different kinds of messaging types to your people, whether that be emails or even SMS text notifications to your people. One thing that I want to highly recommend that you get in the habit of doing is, instead of thinking, oh, I need to send out the Wednesday newsletter, let's put it together Wednesday morning and send it out, you can have everything prepped a couple days ahead of time. And then you can schedule the message to go out when you want it to go. That way you don't have to remember, and you also don't have to, you get it out a little bit too late for people to actually read it and for that message to be effective.
And some volunteers, a lot of us are bivocational, right? We work our jobs, we work at our church. So we might be making this newsletter at 2:00 in the morning.
Yes.
Don't send that text then.
No.
Schedule it for the next day at 9 a.m. And so when people are awake, they can get it. It's just going to help readability there.
Yeah. To do that, whenever you're done putting together the message, just scroll to the very bottom, and there's an option to send or schedule this email. So when you select it, it gives you this drop-down menu to say, hey, I want to schedule this message to send it later instead of right away. So you can schedule it out just a few days ahead of time, and then choose exactly what time you want it to go. And our system will then automatically hand that off to all of the people that you want that to be sent to at that time. You don't have to be logged in. You don't have to push a button. It's just done for you. So this allows you to be very timely with your communication. You don't have to remember to log in at the right time to send it at the right time. It'll just be handed off by the software itself.
And on this screen, specifically with the email, I really think you should show off for our pro users here that email newsletter builder.
Yes.
Because we all know how to send an email. Well, I think we do. But this builder tool is so good for communication and keeping your church up to date with upcoming events. And you've got the auto replies, you've got the newsletters. Just make sure that messaging is so consistent.
Yes. So with emailing, you do get a basic text email. which is still great for communicating not just with specific people, but even your entire church if you just have a quick message that needs to be sent out. But you also get an email builder, an HTML style builder included in your ChurchTrac subscription. So you can have branded newsletters sent out to all of your people, just like a lot of other newsletter platforms, but this is included. You don't have to pay extra for this. And there's also templates. Well, we've already created several templates that you can choose from. These are pre-built templates. They're grayed out just so that, so you can, it's generic. You can put your own stuff on top of it and replace it. But these are some really great examples of what you can put together for your church. Whenever you select a template and then further customize it, you can then save that as your own template and use that going forward. So you're not reinventing the wheel every single time. So it's another time saver.
Yeah, exactly. And to go back to what you talked about at the end of auto replies with that custom QR code for the giving and the link, you can even use that in the email builder.
Yes.
So if you've got a campaign that you're doing and you want to create a nice digital flyer to send out, you can plug in that link in one of the buttons, which is part of the builder, right? Like where that says register there, that can be the event that you're trying to tell people about, or it could be the donation campaign you're running, your pledge campaign. That button can lead to that. Again, just making everything work together.
Perfect. And this is all, again, a way to streamline the work that you're doing, but also be more effective. So this is all about helping you communicate with your people in ways that just take a lot off your plate rather than adding more to the plate. So that's how to communicate and leverage these tools to be more effective in that communication with your church. Let's move into, there's some more communication features in ChurchTrac tucked away in automations that I think you all are going to really appreciate. I cannot stop singing the praises of our developers when they created automations. And also, I love telling churches about the automation features in ChurchTrac, because even if you know about it and maybe you've set up 1 or 2 automations for a couple things, there's still so much more that automations can do for you and your ministry. Just to give you a quick primer on how automations works. You go to Settings and Automations. The Automations page is indicated at the top. Just as like a quick run through of automations, I could put together this birthday message automation, which will automatically send anybody at the church that has a birthday that day, it'll just send them a quick message to say happy birthday from the church. And we actually have this pre-built. I can click the Add button. I'll call this, I know we already have this, but I'll say, there we go, birthday automation. It's an automation that is related to the people data, but there's also pre-built templates. So I can select this send a birthday message option, click add automation, and there's already some of this set up for me. There's already an email. This email will be sent out to the birthday boy or girl, but I can click on the option to send an email and then further customize it. I can make it say exactly what I want it to say. And if you select one of these tabs here at the very bottom, it'll actually inject that person's information. So like it'll take the info of the recipient and add it to the email, which allows you to customize a generic message so it seems more personalized. So I can have this message added or sent to anybody at the church that has a birthday. I could say I wanted to do even more than that. I can also have it send a text message too, so that we're approaching that person from both angles, just to make sure that they get that happy birthday message from the church. It's already going to send out at 9 a.m. every single morning, and it'll be sent to everybody who has a birthday today. That's what that actions will be applied to section is for. Now,
Matt, I do want to just interject as my role in the support team.
Okay.
We do get a question every now and then related to that smart list there. I just recommend don't make any changes to that smart list so that way this automation runs how it's supposed to every time. We do see every now and then someone adds something to it and then everyone gets a birthday text tomorrow.
Yes.
So
listen, I just want to confess that when automations was first released and we were testing things out, I made that mistake. I selected the everyone smart list. And so the very next day, I got a text message saying happy birthday in the middle of summer when my birthday's in winter.
And maybe your church, everyone was born on March 10th, but I doubt it. So, so definitely check that and make sure there's not any additional criteria added in there. But if you just did what Matt just did here and just create it that way, it sets it up for you. But I don't think it'd be a pro user tip if we just stopped with just contacting the person.
No. What you can do with an automation is you could, if I wanted to add another action, what I could do is I could have this send a text message to another user on the ChurchTrac account. And I'll just have my information here. I'll say SMS message, say, hey, today is this person's birthday. Reach out to them at, and then here's their phone number. So I can have this send me a message, just a reminder saying, hey, today is so-and-so's birthday. Here's their contact information. Please reach out to them, so that the member gets a personal contact of just wishing them a happy birthday. Having that automated message, I think, is actually still important.
Yes.
Because I get a happy birthday message from Starbucks every year. And if Starbucks can tell me happy birthday, so can my church.
Yes, I think the church should, and a church leader should.
Exactly.
To build community, to build that rapport. We actually were at a conference recently where we were talking about automations and technology and things. And what we decided on is that automations, they don't replace the church leader or church care. They guarantee it.
Yeah.
They make sure no one falls through the cracks.
Yes.
And I think that's really the power of those automations.
And to go even further, speaking of no one slipping through the cracks, another thing that you can do with automations is automating your first-time guest or new guest follow-up process. So in this case, there's already an automation set up for this. But in this automation, it sends an email to that new visitor saying, hey, welcome to our church. Hi, first name. We're so glad you joined. And further on, you can say more just to welcome them. Maybe share a link to a video where the pastor has just a welcoming message, or maybe information about an upcoming event, or like a new member class or something. Whatever you want to promote to a first-time visitor, you can add all of that to that email. But it also adds a group label to their profile, and it creates a task for
me.
For you, in fact, for another leader at the church. Again, sort of like with the birthday message, it's another task with more follow-up instructions. Because there's, imagining that this is a real church, they could have a whole process to, I don't want to say on board, but to bring in new guests and
there's
get
an
them
outreach
integrated.
ministry. There's an enrichment. There's someone who bakes the cookies for the in-home visit, or sends the letter, thanking them for a visit. Every church is a little different in what they do. The good thing about automations is they're so customizable, so you can make it go with what you do at your church.
All right, so that's how to set up a new guest follow-up automation. Again, there are steps and tasks or actions that you can add to this beyond what I'm demonstrating here. But you can imagine exactly what your process is and then build that into this automation to do what Chris just mentioned. Guarantee that no one slips through the cracks. This is not replacing anything, because again, in this scenario, the software is also reminding the leader to do the personalized outreach and other tasks involved in that new guest follow-up.
And if you want to know more, definitely check our user guide under task automations, because you can even create an automation that, let's say this task that it created for me, I finished it. When I do that and check it off, it creates a different automation that then goes to the next step. So you can really get a flow of your visitor follow-up, your care for whatever the group is you are addressing. And then, as well as, the automation is limited there. You could do an automation to email an absentee report to whichever user is in charge of that each week on Monday. Hey, who have we not seen the past month
or so?
Could you follow up with this person? Those are all just in here waiting for you to customize and use.
And speaking of reports, another thing that I like sharing with church leaders, just to make sure that everybody is aware of this. Again, you may already be aware of this, but some of you probably aren't. You can also automate sending financial reports, whether it be a weekly giving report to the treasurer or a monthly financial accounting report to the board of to the board of the church. The sky's the limit. You can make sure that everybody gets the information they need. That way, you don't have to log into the account at that certain time and make that, check that off your list or have to remember that. It just, even though I know that only takes about 60 seconds to do, it still just takes some of the mental load off of your plate and puts it on the software so that you can free yourself up to think and focus on other more important tasks. All right, so that's automations though. Definitely take full advantage of that. Reach out to the support team anytime you're engaging with this and want to know more or just have questions about it. We would love to make sure that you're taking full advantage of this particular feature in the ChurchTrac account. Let's go ahead. We'll roll ahead into the files. Well, actually, let's check in. Do we have any questions? Is there anything in the chat that we need to address?
So a lot of the questions are being answered. Wes is doing a great job in there, just interacting with everyone. And how it always works, I see a question and then you just start talking about it. So it's good there too.
Yeah, I see Sharon. I think that's your name, Sharon. You had a lot of questions about automations, and I see Wes is answering them in the chat, so that's great. And Sharon, we have a Q&A time at the very end. Also, reach out to the support team. If you haven't scheduled a one-on-one Zoom call with us, we would love to sit down with you and do that. So if you're a subscriber with ChurchTrac and you haven't had a one-on-one Zoom call, let us know. We would love to schedule that with you so that you can ask all of your questions, have our full undivided attention for 30 minutes, and we'll pray for your church and just help build the body of Christ together. So Sharon, thank you very much for all of your questions, but I think you would definitely benefit from a one-on-one, so definitely reach out to us.
I like Paul's comment. He says, I'm all about assigning tasks, but he does want to know, can everyone see who has been assigned to which task? You actually have control over that, assuming you're the admin of your ChurchTrac account, but any admin would be able to set who sees which tasks, who's assigned to which tasks. You have control over that. So if you have a task that everyone should be able to keep a track of, you can definitely have that. And if you want to, have more direct approaches and more siloed tasks, you can do that as well.
I love how he said that. I'm all about assigning tasks. Paul, you've got the gift of delegation. All right. So let's go ahead, though, and dive into file sharing and file storage, because I think a lot of you, the moment you see this, there's some wheels are going to start turning. Because it's so much more than just having an upload of a file. There's other tools and ways that you can take full advantage of this particular feature. So in settings and automations, right next to the automations button is the file storage page. So the way file storage works is if you need to, you can just come here and upload something, whether it be an image or a document or even a video, audio file, whatever you need to upload, you can add that to this particular section in ChurchTrac. But also, also the software will take uploads from other places in the program, like receipts on the accounting feature. Those will show up here as well. So any attachments on the accounting screen can be found here. You can just sort out everything else and select one of those attachments here. Or you can upload something directly and even create different folders and files for everything that you're uploading and storing here. But again, this is more than just a repository of things that you've uploaded. You also can make this shareable and you can give other users access to it, but you can make it shareable and downloadable for the public. So just like Chris was sharing earlier when we created that link for an online giving initiative, you can take that link and then add it to an auto reply or add it to your emails. What you can do in ChurchTrac is you can take one of these images, and let's say this is just an example of, I think it's just a generic newsletter, but imagine it's something that is a document of maybe the church's bylaws or maybe some sort of release form for summer camp for the kids ministry. Something
that you want the public to download, fill out, and return. Maybe it's just more information about the upcoming event, a map to the location of where this event, any document that you want to be shared. Because I think what a lot of people don't know is that, one, the phone carriers that you're sending texts during, they're getting a lot stricter on, more strict, I think would be grammatically correct there. They're getting more strict on what they allow to be sent over the airwaves. Same thing with email. So instead of sending that big long link or a shortened bit.ly link, which a lot of them will block because scammers like to use those.
Yes.
You can upload the document into file storage, make that link shareable, and then embed it or put it in a button of your newsletter or put it on your Church Connect website to download. Anywhere you want to use that link can then just be clicked by whoever needs it, downloaded, printed out, sent in back to the church.
Yes. So in ChurchTrac, as a user, I could come here to file storage, select the file, and then click this download button and pull it out of the program and onto my device if I needed it. But beyond that, you also have the option to make this file shareable. And when you toggle this switch to the on position, we give you a link. This is a download link. What that means is if you were to take this link and either send it any message or add it as, like Chris was saying, to a button in the newsletter or as a card in Church Connect or even a hyperlinked link on a page card in ChurchTrac, or Church Connect, I should say, anytime someone clicks on it, it then downloads that file to their device. So you can make this and send it out to the public, which, like what I was sharing earlier, I've talked to a church that used this feature to create a sign-up form for summer camp for the youth ministry. And it was just the release form, the safety and all of that, just the liability and all of that. They had that form, and then they just shared it with all the parents this way.
And I know the question is probably going to come, okay, so they downloaded the link, how do they get it back? For forms like those, I really recommend they print it out and get a live signature on them.
Sure.
It's just better. So don't have them email it to you or anything like that. Have them print it out, sign it, turn it back in.
Of course.
But they'll be able to get it right there.
But this is the easiest way to just get it.
They don't have to go
hands.
to the church, ask a volunteer for it. They don't have to find it in the youth wing somewhere like that. They can just go online, print it out.
Exactly. But this is just one example. Anytime you have something that you want the public to download and have, maybe it's even an audio file or a video file, you can have that here, make it shareable, and it can then be downloaded to all of those people's device. So you take advantage of this. And then, like Chris was suggesting, use it not just as a link, but add it to a button, whether it be to the newsletter or to Church Connect, just to get that out there to as many people as possible.
Attach it to your worship scheduling so that your volunteers can get those kind of documents. I mean, really, anytime you want to share a document, this is very useful for that. And also, you get 10 gigabytes just included in your subscription. And I know 10 is a small number, but 10 gigabytes is a lot. If you're attaching a lot of high quality photos, I'll just tell you, in the years I've been here, I've never seen someone even come close to that. So use file storage. I think, and I think this opinion is shared by everyone here, this is a very underutilized feature in the software. And maybe because it's in the settings automation screen, and so you didn't know it was there, but definitely take advantage of that. One, you mentioned at the very beginning about the accounting attachments and the worship attachments. Something that I think is so useful is coming here and searching for things, especially accounting attachments, because I might go into my register and what if I forget? Like, okay, I'm looking for this receipt. I forget what transaction it was on. If you're good at labeling things, you should be, but definitely get good at labeling things. So then you just come here, click on accounting attachments, and just scroll through until you find the receipt you need.
Yep. And having it labeled and named just makes it so much. You don't have to click through each one. Not that one. Not that one. Oh, this is the one. Yeah,
exactly. So that's a pro tip for the pro tips: is get good at labeling.
And by getting good at labeling, half the time it's just actually do the labeling. Just do it instead of just throwing in a file with a random name. Have some sort of label so that makes some sort of sense to you when you look at it. But that's file storage. Let's dive into ways to take better advantage of Church Connect. This is a big one. This is a big feature in ChurchTrac. I know probably all of you are using Church Connect to one degree or another. But there's a few things that I want to point out and walk through just to make sure that you are, again, taking full advantage of this feature and using it to maximize the impact that your church is having, whether it be in the discipleship journey that you're walking your members through, or your ability to communicate who your church is to your community to invite more people into the doors of your church. So the first thing that I want to point out in Church Connect, if I go to the Church Connect feature, in Church Connect, in the app itself, you actually get a media tab. I don't know if some of you may have already noticed this. I just want to make sure that you're aware so that you know exactly how to leverage this. To add content and build out the media page, you go to the Connect settings page in Church Connect in your ChurchTrac account, and then go to Connect app settings. This is where you can upload your logo and add it to the top of the app screen just to make that look really professional. But there's also the ability, you have this toggle switch to enable media. What that does is it opens up the option to add different content or different feeds to the media page in Church Connect. The reason why our developers created this particular corner of the app is they wanted you to have the ability to curate and consolidate multiple different resources online that you know would benefit your members in one way or another, whether it be just giving them more information to become more engaged or resources to help grow their faith, whatever that looks like. You can consolidate all of that and have it all in one place so that it's easier for them to find and access. You don't have to tell them, go to YouTube for this and go to Facebook for that, and here's this blog that I want you to read. It's just all in one place, and they can find it and access it anytime. To add content to this particular feed, it's really simple. You just go here to the page that I just showed you, go to the Connect App Settings menu, and then click the Add a Feed button over on the right side of the screen. Once you give it a name, oops, I should learn how to type. Once you give it a name, goodness gracious, there we go. Once you give it a name and then give it a description, another example, then you can say next and choose what kind of thing that you're adding, what type of content, where it's coming from. So if you have a playlist on YouTube, you can select that and then just go grab the ID or the URL of that playlist and paste it into this menu here. So this allows you to just grab, whether it be YouTube videos online, and it doesn't even have to be your videos. It doesn't have to be, you can do past sermons, but it doesn't have to be just that. You can grab videos from, I like the Bible Project. Mm-hmm. That's another really great organization. You can grab videos of theirs and add it to the feed here so that your members can follow along. Maybe you're doing a sermon series related to something that they've done. So you can have that extra resource for them to watch and enjoy.
And one thing I've seen some churches have really good success with is using those curated playlists like you're talking about.
Yes.
I've seen some churches, they'll have a playlist for Sunday morning because maybe they're doing a book series on Sunday morning. So they've got Ephesians book study, and that's the playlist, all those related videos. And then they maybe got a Wednesday night doing a different study. So they separated them. That way you can find exactly what you're looking for. And then maybe a third playlist will be like the daily devotional the pastor puts out, a couple times a week. Just having it be specific.
Yeah.
But not too specific, because you don't want 14 feeds there. But definitely being a little more specific than just, well, here's our sermons, because it gets people engaged. They can see different resources that they might want to use and utilize.
Well, this is a tip that Michael, one of our guy that works here, he's the one that does most of the building websites and designing things, and he's an expert on this. He gave me this tip of how to best use this feature is don't just link to like the church's YouTube page. You could do that. You can link to a YouTube channel, but don't just do that and move on. Do like what Chris just suggested. Curate content that you know that your members will enjoy and benefit from in their discipleship journey, and have specific ideas of exactly what you want to share with them, and then create different feeds for them to engage in so that whenever they're ready to dive deeper into the book study that you're doing, they have that waiting for them. Or whenever they need to go through a past sermon, they missed last week, they can easily find last week's sermon in a playlist of all of your sermons. So leveraging playlists and then using those as the feeds that you're adding to the media feed or the media page just it'll take this to the next level and making this a very powerful and useful resource for your members. Because when you're done with all of that work, I actually have a smartphone here open so that I can show you what this account's media page looks like. Once you're done curating things and collecting it and adding it to this media feed, anytime somebody opens up the app, they can just tap the media button in the toolbar at the very bottom. It's in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And there is the media page. All of the feeds that this church has added and put into this media page are now here for me to easily access. All I have to do is just tap on one of these, and it'll take me to whatever that is. So there's the podcast right there of all the past sermons for this demo church or this demo account that we've put together so that you can see exactly how that works.
And I know I may sound like a broken record sometimes because my advice for most of these is the same. This will be the same as the accounting. Label.
Yes.
Churches that we see are successful with this, just like this example, with that description, you see it says, check out our latest sermon series, and then the weekly devotional every Monday. Be clear with what your release schedule is, what the upload's going to look like, what the content is. It just makes it so much more accessible.
So much more. And people can even save, like they can have favorites. They can save content in these feeds and then tap that little bookmark icon in the top right-hand corner to see an archive of everything that they've saved so far. So if they have like a favorite sermon, or there's a sermon that just really impacted them, they can save that and access it later. Same with any other info or any other content that you add here. They can bookmark it for later access or just make it easy for them to go back through the things that just impacted them the most. So that is how to best fully take advantage of the media in Church Connect. Another tip that Michael shared with me, this isn't something that I have demonstrated in this account, but this is something that he has seen churches do, is because your members are the ones that are downloading the app on their phone more so than just the general public. A lot of members who are very active at your church want to stay up to date on all of the sermons. I know, like in my case, we've got young kids. They get sick, and so we miss a week or two.
Because it has to go through the whole family.
Yeah, because it slowly works its way through the whole family, and we don't want to share it with the other kids in the nursery or the children's ministry, so we stay home. But we want to stay up to date on all of our sermons. What Michael has seen churches do that are really leveraging Church Connect really well is they'll take the live stream of the church's sermon, and they'll add that to a video card, and they'll put it at the very top, but only in the app. They won't make it public because this is something primarily for the members to benefit from. Even though the public, you may have like a sermon archive for them to watch, your members are the ones that are wanting to stay fully up to date on all like the most recent sermons. So what he's seen them do is add a video card on the cards page. Whenever they add a video card, I'll select that here, add this card, and then they'll grab the video ID of the live stream, but for the visibility, they say they only want it in the app. That way, it's something that the members, whenever they open up the app, it's just front and center. It's the very first thing they see in the app. It just makes it really easy for them to join you in worship, even when they can't make it in person.
Now, I'll actually share with you, Matt, I have a personal testimony of this from 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So we were coming back from a work conference. We were in Seattle Airport, about to get on a direct flight to Orlando. And so my church is in Florida. I'm obviously not there. I was watching it on the app because that's what my church does. They have that video card there. They have it. I might have been actually through the media feed because when it's on the YouTube playlist, it's right there. Is how my church organizes that. But I was sitting in the concourse, had my headbuds in. Maybe I should have taken my earbuds out, so everyone else could benefit from the service too. But I was being a nice citizen. But I was watching it right there through my Church Connect app, and it was Perfect.
Now, Montgomery in the chat said it doesn't allow, he's asking, does it allow the Facebook Live link? Church Connect doesn't integrate with Facebook, so you can't add the live feed directly to Church Connect, but you can create a link card, take the link to the live stream on Facebook, and that way people can tap on it and it just takes them where you want them to go. So you can still connect them and send them where you want them to go, but it can't be added directly to the app itself.
The media feed part.
Yeah. Well, not only the media feed, but what I was demonstrating was Michael said to add a video card and add it. So you can't add a video card of a Facebook live stream, but you can with YouTube and Vimeo. So definitely explore those options as you're live streaming and broadcasting your services. Okay, so and one more thing to show off in Church Connect. This is just, again, another thing that's just sort of tucked away in the program. It may not be something that you have come across yet as you're getting deeper into Church Connect. On the page setup screen, anytime you're accessing one of your secondary pages, like a plan a visit or about us page, just select that page and then select the cogwheel in the top right-hand corner to the right of the URL. This gives you tools that'll allow you to control, let's say, the URL customize the URL for that page and add a page title and page description. Both of these go a long way in improving the search engine optimization of your church's website. So if you're using Church Connect as your primary website, which I highly recommend you do because it's included in your subscription. You don't have to pay another platform and manage another login and learn another platform. You have everything built into your ChurchTrac account and it's fully included in your subscription. But you can boost your ranking in a Google search so that it's more likely that your church is more likely to show up at the top when someone is looking for a church in their area to come visit. So definitely explore these options. I don't have any specific examples of exactly what you should put here because that's very contextual to your church. You just need to describe your church and basically tell search engines more about what that page contains and what your church is like so that when someone in your area is looking for your kind of church, that search engine knows this is the church that they're looking for and puts your website at the top. And
also don't forget to put your address in the footer of that of the website.
Yes.
And put a map on there. Like anywhere you can get it integrated with your Church Connect and Google and Apple Maps and things like that. It's just going to help with discovering your church digitally. Yeah. I know we have a lot of, go to our YouTube channel. I know you're already here watching it most likely, but when we're done here, go to those recent playlists and see some of those videos we've done on SEO and the website. It should be a really good help.
Yeah. So these are just very simple, subtle, but very powerful ways that you can use Church Connect to bless your ministry, to bless your church, grow your members and their faith, and also just make it a resource that benefits your church directly, the organization, by helping the church grow and help your members be more engaged and more invested in what's going on in the ministry. But that's all of the features that we had planned to show you today. If you were to utilize just 2 or 3 of these, you would already be way ahead of the curve and be in the Power User Club. So if you have questions, again, reach out to the support team. Anytime you're in your account, click that orange help button and send us a ticket with your questions because we want to serve you and bless you. Also, we'll go ahead and get into the Q&A time now. So any questions that haven't been answered, we'll tackle them. If you've been holding on to any questions, make sure to go ahead and share them in the chat now. Again, if you're watching this in the future, after we've put this on the YouTube channel and it's no longer live, just leave a question in the comments and we'll get to it and make sure that you're taken care of as well. But also make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be a part of all of our future live streams, and you can also watch all of our past how-to getting started videos so that you can make sure that you've set everything up properly and are taking full advantage of the software in all of its different areas. And again, why don't you, not to be a broken record, tell them again about the Facebook group.
Well, yeah, again, if you're a power user, we want you in the Facebook group because we want you interacting with other power users, showing off your websites, asking, what this church is doing with their visitor follow-up. If you find something, a really good tip of how you're using ChurchTrac that's really benefiting your ministry, share that or ask others what they're doing. Obviously, if you have a a complicated issue, or maybe it's not behaving correctly, let me know, let the support team know, let us know, we'll help you. But our Facebook user group is such a good resource to meet with other leaders that are also using ChurchTrac.
Love it. All right, so we'll go ahead and get into the Q&A time now. Are there any questions that haven't been answered yet, or?
Some of them are coming in. Let's see. Although Wes is still doing a great job of of answering them all here. Let's see.
See, volunteer coordinator asked, where do you go to sign up to get a number and minutes for Twilio? That you would have to go to Twilio and create an account with them. We have an article in our user guide that gives you exact step-by-step instructions for how to set it up. Definitely have that article handy as you're doing it. You're on the support team, so yes. I know you want to say something.
Well, I was going to say, you actually aren't required to use Twilio anymore either. If you're a church that is outside of the United States, Canada, Mexico, right around
North America,
then definitely Twilio is going to be a great option for you because enhanced messaging just isn't available in your area just yet. But if you're here, if you're in North America, please reach out. We'll give you more information about enhanced messaging. We feel like we have just really streamlined how this all works and really taken steps to make it a lot easier to sign up for and use. And again, put it right in the software with everything else. So it's built in, it's all in one. You don't have to go somewhere else and sign up for a third party anymore. If you are still using Twilio, it's still supported. I can help you with that. But if you haven't signed up for messaging yet, take a look at our enhanced messaging options. I think you'll really be excited about that.
Yeah. Earlier, let's see here. Motown K is your username. You asked, what about a Zoom live feed? And I know Wes shared in the chat the answer, but just like the question about the Facebook live stream, that's a great opportunity to leverage the link card option. Just take the link for the Zoom feed or the Zoom live stream, the Zoom call, I should say, and then add that to either a link card or a button elsewhere on the Church Connect site. That way members can click on it anytime and access the live stream or the Zoom call whenever it's active. But there's not a direct integration. You can't just put the feed of that video directly into Church Connect. You're just sending people where to go, where you want them to go. I see Mark from Calvary Chapel, West Jacksonville. All right, you're one of our neighbors. That's crazy. You could come sit in here and join us if you wanted to. You said, is there a way to see or run a report on when a people record was added? You actually can have it set up so that a person gets notified when people data is added, but it's not like there's not a report per se of people data being added.
So there is a way.
Oh, okay.
There is a way. Now this is actually a power user tool.
Okay.
So
great question.
I preface this by saying this is a custom tool. So it may take a little bit of trial and error to get it to work exactly with the report you want. But in the people screen, under the reports page, we do have an option for custom reports. Now, one of the fields you can add is date added. And so that will list when this person was added to your people database. If you have a user-defined field that is, membership date or baptism date or anything like that, you can also track through that. But there is a date added field in here right there.
Yeah, you're right.
And you can even, here's the pro tip. If you hit close there and then scroll up to the top and on the right, the advanced report settings, you can actually sort this report by date added as well. So at the top there where it's family name.
Oh, I see.
You can sort it by date added. So it'll actually,
have like ascending
it'll
or
give you the
descending.
whole list. Yeah. And so that, again, but this is a custom report. You can add a lot to custom reports. So if it's your first time using it, go slow. Add some criteria, see what kind of reports you can get, see what you want. And also these can also always be exported to a spreadsheet program for more organization and manipulation of the data there too.
Yeah. St. Luke asked, if we switch from Twilio to the new enhanced messaging, can we keep the same number?
So no, but the beauty of enhanced messaging again is that it's integrated now with ChurchTrac. We have much more control and of the setup and all that. So you will get a new dedicated number. It will still be a dedicated number. So if you're using Twilio now, you definitely can switch to that enhanced messaging. The billing is through ChurchTrac. We tried to bring everything in to just, again, make that all-in-one system. But it will be a new number. But we think you'll like the change. You won't have to deal with that third party anymore.
Yep. Vinitalians said, it's difficult to follow the live stream and catch up on the questions and answers in the chat. I know Wes answered in the chat already, but I just want to also remind you, yes, you can reach out to the support team like Wes said if you have questions. But also this video will be on our YouTube channel later today. So you can come back and watch this anytime if you need to review anything that we talked about.
The question here, Maria says, I'm using Google Forms now that give me spreadsheets to track data. What's an alternative in ChurchTrac? Maria, could you comment again? What data are you looking to track? Because there is a lot of reports in ChurchTrac and a lot of different data to track. So if you give me a little more specifics, or even if you wanted to put in a support ticket with the specific data you're using those spreadsheets for, we'd be happy to help you.
Yeah. Antioch Office Baptist Church asked, once you start entering in SmartList, for example, how do you put them in alphabetical order?
So go to Setup here on the People screen.
Yep. So on People and Families, you go to Setup.
And then SmartList. And so if you can, Matt, zoom in on the little up-down arrow there. Yeah. So it's manual ordering. There's not a button to put them in alphabetical order, but if you click and drag, you can change them into whatever order you want. So maybe if you're like me and you like alphabetical and it all makes sense in your head when you do that, definitely do that. But maybe you have smart lists that you want to use quite a bit. Put those at the top so they're more easy to get to.
Yeah, because there are other areas of the software where smart lists are used to select a particular group of people. The smart lists, and whenever you click on the drop-down menu to choose a list, those will be arranged in the same order that they're arranged here on this screen. Mm-hmm. So yes, that's to get to Chris's point. Arrange these in whatever way helps you navigate that and select the right list when it comes time to choose one.
And we won't show this, but just a quick tip. We can if we want, but it's user preferences. In the settings screen, user preferences page under your people screen. So these will be your personal preferences. You can actually change the default smart list in the people screen. So when you log in, it's the people screen preferences there on the left. The default smart list right there. You've got it set to everyone. But when you log in, if you're the children's ministry volunteer and you just want to see the children's smart list, you can set it right there.
Perfect.
Just again, like you said earlier about having the automation send reports, maybe saves you 60 seconds, but that's 60 seconds you didn't have to think about something that wasn't what you were logging into ChurchTrac to do.
Exactly. Love it. Love it. All right. Sharon, you asked, so if I want to send texts, it will be a new number and not our church phone number. Oh, correct. Yeah. You are assigned a phone number. So whatever number, whenever you whenever you activate enhanced messaging, you'll get a toll-free phone number that you'll use for that feature. Just make sure you share that with your members and have them save it on their phone so that they know who's communicating with them.
So Grace Reformed asked if there's a way to add back someone who unintentionally unsubscribed from our emails. I would recommend create a support ticket for that because there's a couple different ways I can answer that, and it really depends on the reason for the unsubscribe. So if you could create a support ticket with the email provided so that we can search the reason for the unsubscribed. And it may just be as simple as deleting the name out of the email out of the people screen and adding it back in. But email's tricky. So reach out and we'll help you with that.
Yeah. Carmen, you said earlier, we signed up for Twilio about 6 weeks ago. Is enhanced messaging less expensive than Twilio? Twilio is a little bit less expensive. Enhanced messaging is only a little bit more than that. The benefit of enhanced messaging is that you don't have to go through the setup of a Twilio account, and you don't have to manage something separate. It's all in one platform and simplified. If you have a Twilio account, That's fine. You don't have to sign up for the enhanced messaging.
Well, you still have to enable enhanced messaging. You don't have to verify a new number if you want to continue to use your Twilio.
Yeah.
So you'll sign up for the enhanced messaging, and one of the benefits of that is we're cooking up some things in the kitchen here at ChurchTrac for that enhanced messaging.
Yeah.
More on that later. But you would sign up for enhanced messaging, get that set up. And then you would connect your Twilio to that. Or if you just want to be done with Twilio and you want to move fully over to ChurchTrac with that, we can definitely help you with that too.
Motown, great question. You mentioned being able to look in a person's profile to see what messages they were sent. Where is that? That is if you go to the People and Family screen and then select that person's name in the database. On the right, where you see their mobile phone number, to the right, there's a little icon, just a little text messaging bubble icon. If you click that, it opens up this menu on the right where you can see all of the messages that have been sent back and forth from that member, between that member and the church. So that's how you can access that. You can scroll through all of them. You can even send them a message right here if you just want to have a message sent directly to that one particular member. Great question. That was a good one. Probably should have added that to the outline. Yeah. All right. And there you go. There's so many features that you can be taking advantage of in ChurchTrac that simplifies what you're doing that we couldn't even fit them all in one live stream.
Well, just like so Jenny asked about the benefits of switching from Twilio. Well, like I mentioned just previously, we've got some new things coming that are truly going to make enhanced messaging enhanced. Typical ChurchTrac fashion, we're always working on something, making things better. We're in active development. We don't sit on our laurels. We want to make this the best thing, especially for you, our pro users, because we want you to be able to take advantage of everything, use it all, cut cords where you can, and really build the body of Christ using these tools.
All right. St. Luke, you said more word count, please. We don't determine the word. We don't determine the character limit of a text. That's determined by the carrier. So
yeah. Okay. So I've been asked to please explain this. Let me give you the quick and boring. I'm so sorry. Give me 15 seconds. SMS is actually a tool type. It is a industry term for what that message is. It's not like an iMessage or a Google chat. That's actually using the internet. It's actually sent through these carriers. So there are limits on the message that have to be followed. And with that, 160 characters is one of those limits. It's just the nature of SMS.
Yep. All right. Let's see here. Motown, you asked, is there the same for email? I'm assuming you meant, let's see. Oh no, you were okay. You were the one that asked about seeing the text messages. There's not a way to see that for emails. You can see the most recent emails sent and how many received that email, and that's what you're able to access in terms of past emails. So you're not going to be able to see all of the emails that your church sent to a specific member. Okay, I think that's all the questions. I don't see any more new ones. So we're going to go ahead and call it here. But if you have any questions in the future, definitely reach out to the support team by clicking that help button in the top right-hand corner of the screen.
And if I just might add, since we've got our pro users here,
yes,
if you have anything that you're using ChurchTrac for that you think is something we've missed or something you'd love to share with others. I know I said put it in the Facebook group, but send us a ticket with that as well. We'd love to hear about it. And when we do this video again, we'll feature that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something we haven't even thought of yet because we're not in every church. Obviously, we're active in our churches and we use ChurchTrac for what we use it for, but maybe you've got the secret. Maybe you've got a really cool tool you've been using. Pastor Andy, I know you've got a couple, so you can keep giving them to me. But if you watch this and you say, well, they touched on file storage, but they didn't use it this way, let me know. I'd love to hear about that.
Yep. All right. Well, I know there's a couple questions that just rolled in. I'll go ahead and tackle them, but these are going to be the last ones that we will answer. So Jenny asked, will this live stream be offered as a recording? Yes, this live stream will be on the YouTube channel within a few hours later today. Just go to ChurchTrac or go to youtube.com, search ChurchTrac, and on our channel, there'll be some tabs. One of them will say live. Click on that and that'll show you all the past live streams we've done that are on the channel. So this will be waiting for you there.
And If you could go back to the automations, because Friendship Church actually asked a question about, is there a way to have newly added names default to a visitor status? So there's two answers to this question. First, that new guest follow-up, you have it add a group. You could also add an action to change member status to visitor. Or even better, to not even have to worry about the automation, in the admin settings under the screen options, I'm really testing my support knowledge here. Yeah, default member status. Change that to guest or visitor or what have you. And so when you add in a new name, it'll automatically be there. And then if it's a member that you just haven't added before, you can change that later. But all new names will go under guest or visitor or whatever you set that there, because that field is customizable.
Love it. All right. I see CCF Jack. She said it is possible to set up ChurchTrac to combine 2 160-character messages into one. Okay. Would love to hear exactly how you've done that. All right. Well, I will go ahead and call it here. I really hope that you learned something today and that you, if you're not already, you'll become a power user in the ChurchTrac account thanks to everything that you learned today. I also, what? You got something?
No, just one more message came in. Not a question, a giveaway.
Oh, a giveaway. That's right. Go ahead and send us an email. Send us an email to live@churchtrac.com. Let us know what you learned today, what we did well, what you think we could have done better, and we'll pick one of the respondents to receive. I think I actually have a cup here. Yeah, got one of our mugs here. You'll get one of these in the mail, one of these Yeti cups. All right. That was fun. Today was fun. I pray God's blessings over all of your churches, that you grow in the year 2026 and that more people join your body of Christ.